Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. How you doing? Yeah, come on in. We'll get started. We won't uh, be here long today. This is our lunch and learn, where I come to you on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays and share about different grant topics. This week, we're going to talk about grants for housing programs. And as we go through it, we're going to talk about the purpose of housing grants, where to locate them, what types of housing grants there are, where to locate them, and then understanding what funders are looking for so you can have a good match. And then last, we're going to talk about how to engage stakeholders early so that you can, of course, get funded. Um, so, welcome everybody. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Jay Hackett. I've been doing this for about 20 years. My grants total so far is $107 million. That's $107 million that I've helped uh, get into organizations and programs over the last 20 years. And I'm really excited about the ability that God gave me to transfer information, to translate information, and to make it make sense to people who didn't go to school for this or didn't have a whole bunch of experience in this, but they're doing big things. What I found out was that there are a lot of people that have a big heart, but they have none of the money. And then you have other people that have none of the heart, but they have all of the money. I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's right, but instead of me complaining about it, I decided to do something about it. And that is to share the information with our people so that those who really care will be able to get their programs funded. Those that are already doing things out of their pocket don't have to keep doing out of their pocket. And if you have a dream or you have an intention on making this world, your neighborhood, your city, your state a better place, you can do it with the money that's available. At any given time, there is about $500 billion in grant money in movement. And the program, the project, the activity that you have in mind, it should be and it could be funded if you just knew what to say and where to get the money from. All right, so let's get started. Number one, these are some strategies on how to get started with grants for housing programs. For this specific section of grants, we're going to talk mainly about nonprofit grants. When you look at housing programs, those are mainly nonprofit grants. If you have a transitional home and that transitional home is for profit, you still qualify for grants, but those are for profit grants and those are relatively smaller. So if you are running an Oxford house, a transitional home, a halfway house, a boarding home, et cetera, and you are serving a vulnerable population, you can get grants to help. But if you had a nonprofit, those grants could cover more because the initiative is not specifically designed to make any one person rich, like a for-profit company is. When you have a nonprofit, that is a community-driven program, it's a community-led program, it's there to benefit the community, and it's not designed to make you rich. At the same time, this nonprofit grant can be used and should be used to cover the expenses so that you're not trying to do it all out of your individual pocket. All right. So if it's helping the community, then it should be a community bill. And let's talk about how to position yourself so that that happens. You want your 501c3 in place. Make sure that everything matches your state corporation commission and your EIN. Make sure the name, address, the spelling, everything on those three documents match, and you get your bank account opened. If you need any help with that, you can reach out and we can get it set up for you. All right. So, number one, you want to clarify the purpose of your housing program. So, these grants are not just free money, they're investments in solving a community problem. So, a grant is money given to you for a community problem that you don't have to pay back. Money given to you for a community problem that you don't have to pay back. So, when you look at housing programs, a housing grant could focus on rental. It could focus on, it could be you're providing rental assistance. It could be you're providing down payment assistance. But most of the time, when people say housing programs, they're talking about um, housing people living in a place that you provide. So those grants can cover the mortgage, the rent, the furniture, the appliances. They can cover the bedding. They can cover when people move in. You might like. I remember we had a transitional home and people were coming from jail or from state prison. So when they would arrive either on the bus or from their probation officer, we would have grant money that was set aside to go and buy them some stuff from Walmart. They could get, I don't know if it was 50 or $100, but they could go and buy their toiletries and just clothes or whatever it is that they needed to get on their feet until they were able to get a job. All right. Not only when you think of housing programs, do you think of people of the cost of the house? The utilities can be covered by grants. The insurance can be covered by grants. The yard, the lawn care can be covered by grants. The lawnmower can be covered by grants. But if they're living there, what we did because we didn't want people to be vulnerable, to be as vulnerable or as susceptible to the elements in the neighborhood, we raised grant funds to get a vehicle to drive them to and from work so that we didn't have to worry about them being at work on time or getting distracted instead of going to work. We bought a vehicle. That vehicle was covered by a grant, and the driver of the vehicle was covered by a grant. Their time, the salary, and not only that, the gas was covered by grants. The insurance for the vehicle was covered by grants. So everything that it took in order to provide housing, sustainable housing for these folks, was supplied by grants. Okay. So it's not just free money, it's there to solve the community problem. So when you think about the problem that you're solving, don't think about it just in one level, think about it in all levels from as many angles as you can. So when you are getting started in your housing program, you want to focus on what is the outcome. Is the outcome affordable housing? Is the outcome homelessness prevention? Is it supportive housing? Is it neighborhood revitalization? All of these are in the category of housing, but you get to decide what it is that you want to do. Do you want to build houses to rent them to people that are low to moderate income? Do you want to build houses? Do you want money to build houses that you're going to sell to people with low to moderate income? Do you want to renovate houses that you're going to rent out? Or do you want construction money so that you can build? Or do you want grant money so you can be the rental assistance program so that when people have a rental assistance, when people have a rent problem, they're facing eviction, they can come to you and you have grant funds to give to them to prevent an eviction? Or do are you the one that wants to do down payment assistance that after they've gone through a credit counseling program and after they've prepared themselves financially, that if they finish your program, as part of your program you have down payment assistance for them? I remember one of our houses when I was locked up, my wife, she went through a program. She had to start over totally on her own without any help, any money from me. And as part of, she went through a program. And when she went through the program, she qualified for some type of down payment assistance. And that was how she was able to buy a house without me. All right. So housing grants come in all forms, but you have to decide what your outcomes are. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to get people into homes? Are you trying to keep people in homes? Are you trying to make the housing affordable? Are you trying to help homeless people go into homes? Are you trying to, if you're trying to keep somebody in a house, that's considered homelessness prevention. If you're trying to support people through housing or with housing, that's supportive housing. All right. The next thing that you have to do is frame what you're doing. All right. The funders want to see they want to see the social return. All right. They want to see what happens when you house people. And you have to describe that. This is what we expect to happen. This is what happened the last time. Now, sometimes you may have housed one person as a test to decide if you really want to do this or not. Well, the outcomes from that person, that's something that you want to talk about and do a case study on and report on. So you want to frame the housing, all right? And I'm going to tell you one little secret about your housing program. Anybody can open a house and have people boarding in it. You know what I mean? Just a boarding house. But if you really want to elevate what you're doing, implement your curriculum, implement your strategy, implement your model, your mechanism, your way, whether it feels complicated or feels simple, but let it be that this is not just a house, but this is your program. And that's going to help you stand apart from everybody else. All right. Number two, you want to know the types of housing grants. So there are federal grants like HUD. HUD stands for Housing and Urban Development Grant. Um, HUD grants come from HUD. They also come from HUD through your city. USDA Rural Development Grants, HH5 grant for supportive, I mean, HHS grant for supportive housing, that's Health and Human Services. Those can be found on grants.gov. You just type in HUD or you type in USDA or you type in HHS, and those grants are going to come available, are going to come up. All right. And if you want, our agents can write it for you. But the next, you have state and local grants. All right. State grants come from your state, local grants come from your city and your county. These are housing trust funds, CDBG, home funds, and then your city and your county housing departments. Normally, your housing department is in the community development department. And with your county, their grants office sometimes is named grants management, sometimes is named community engagement, et cetera. But whatever department houses the grants are typically the ones that have grants for housing programs. All right. And if you ever wondered, then take a look at the homeless shelter. Go online, look at the homeless shelter that's in your area, pull up their annual report, and look at the back of it, and you'll see who gives money to housing programs. Next is private foundations. This is like Wells Fargo Foundation, Ford Foundation. These foundations, they give out grants. They give out grants for housing. Then last, um, there are companies, corporations like Walmart, all right, Target, they give out grants. So you want to share what you do in such a way that when you have the opportunity to tell any one of these entities what you're planning, what you're doing, what you're engaged in, you'll be able to just pull the picture, pull the data, pull the outcomes, and include it in the application. All right. Number three, you want to understand what the funders are looking for. Now, every funder is different. Every funder is different. These are some things that they're looking for. Number one, they're looking for impact. They want to know how many families you're serving, how many people you're serving, how many units are being built, how many people will prevent homelessness, how many people will be prevented from being homeless. Um, the how many beds are how many nights of bedding are you going to provide? How many rooms? How many people? How many folks from reentry? How many folks from recovery? Not only that, when you are looking at sustainability, they also want to know the demographics of these people, so there can be equity. So how many women? How many men? How many Latinx? How many of Asian descent? How many Pacific Islanders? All right. What is their income when they come? And you can gather all this in a simple intake application. People know that when they come into your place, like they're going to have to give you some information. So if you grab the demographic information when they move in, you'll be able to document it and chart it, and you'll be able to turn it in for reports. For example, we knew that 100% of the people that came to us were homeless. How do we know that? Because they checked the box, homeless. All right. They wouldn't be with us if they were homeless. That doesn't mean that their family didn't have a place. It meant that they had no place in their name. The government definition of homeless. All right. And you want to be able, the funders are looking for impact. Next, they're looking for sustainability. What happens when this grant ends? All right. Now, some people have asked me, and they were timid in their asking, and I understand why, but I don't want you to be timid with this. For our program, we were supported by grant funds, but our participants also paid a participant program fee. They paid a program fee of $180 a week. This was their skin in the game. This was their responsibility. This was them practicing being a contributing member of society. This also is what made our program sustainable. So when we had grant funds, everything was fine. When we had no grant funds, everything was fine. This adds to our sustainability. All right. They want to know what happens when the grant ends. What happens if you don't have everything from this grant? The other thing you can do for sustainability is make sure that you are looking for multiple resources. So you don't only want one grant. You want at any given time, you want to be applying for 10 grants. All right. Next, they're looking for collaboration. Who else is at the table? If you're providing housing, who's providing mentorship? Who's providing counseling? Who's providing drug treatment? Who's providing medication management? Who is available for medical support? Are you taking people to get their vital records? Are you taking them to get their driver license, social security card, birth certificate? Who else is at the table? The more collaborators you have, the better. So you want to think collaborate, collaborate, collaborate. And your collaborations are anybody that serve your people, anybody that you would call for help with your people, any resources that your people need. Also, any places that you would refer your people to after they leave. That's also collaboration. Okay. Your list of collaborators should be 100. That's your first milestone. 100. All right. Next, they're looking for equity. They want to know that your program is reaching the underserved and the vulnerable. Okay. Now, this does not mean you want to have pity or feel sorry for them. It just means that there are some people that face barriers that others do not. And this grant money is supposed to be used to serve and to reach those that are most vulnerable. Number four, you want to engage your stakeholders early. From the moment you decide that you want to do a housing program, you need to start reaching out to your stakeholders. They're going to help you with shortcuts. They're going to tell you who has the money. They're going to give you tips on what you can do. And one of the biggest suggestions I can give you, if you're doing a housing program, create an advisory group. And let that advisory group be tenants, neighborhood representatives, service providers, local officials, elected officials. All right. Just let it be a mixture of people. These are advisors. You can meet them quarterly. That's one time every 3 months. That's 4 times a year. And they can give you insight on stuff that you need. This is going to help you move forward and it's going to establish your credibility and give you more buy in. All right. Number five, you want to focus on the data. The fact that you are housing people might feel warm and fuzzy, but it's not a warm and fuzzy business. All right. It is data driven. Your data will tell the story. So the data is going to tell how many households, all right, how many households were cost burdened by rent and you helped them. How many people were homeless at the time? The homeless, point in time data that they have in every city. If the city has 500 homeless, how many of those homeless at any point in time are you housing? All right. A housing wait list. How many people are on the wait list? How long is the wait list? But even though that wait list is that long, you're able to house people in what length of time? Right? You want to encourage your staff, encourage your data collectors to be thorough with the data and keep up with it because this is what's going to go into your application. Your applications will stand out from everybody else's when you're able to say the point in time count is 504. At any given time, there are 504 homeless people. We house 20 of them. All right. Now, number six, you want to start small and then scale up. Don't try to start big. You don't have to. Start small and scale up. You will get referrals. More and more people will come to you, but you want to start where you are. We had a transitional home and it had started in 2019 and nobody knew. But when 2020 came, all of a sudden we were in high demand and all of our units were full and we could house 6 people per unit. A strong first grant, it might be a pilot program. It might be a landlord tenant mediation. It might be a housing counseling program. It might be a rental assistance program for 20 families. It might be something small. But once you've done that one thing successfully, you'll be able to report on it and get more grants. Okay? Now, Here's some quick ways to help your participants win. You want to have them identify one urgent housing challenge. All right. What are they challenged with? And then you want to match what they need with what you do. Okay. Now, what I want you all to do, um, as you prepare um, for Wednesday, we'll be back on Wednesday. What I want you to do as a little bit of homework as you prepare, I want you to list out all of the items. You can do it on a sheet of paper, you can do it on your cell phone. Everything that you're going to need for your housing program. Your list should have at least 25 items. There should be at least 25 lines. All right. And I want you to look up how much they are. That's it. And when you come on Wednesday, I want you to bring the the list of items that you need and how much those items are. Don't struggle with anything. Don't worry about anything. Somebody say, "Well, do we need to know how much one of them is, or for a year, or how much one unit, or for 20 units, or 30 days, or whatever?" Don't worry about that. Just get the price of the thing, and we'll take the next step on Wednesday. All right. I have about 3 more minutes. So I want to take that time for questions before I go. Anybody have any question before I leave? All right. Do y'all feel like this is helpful? If you have other questions, you can ask now. You can put it in the chat. You can DM me, and I'll include it in the next lesson. But I want to do as much as I can this week to give you a supercharged head start on how to get grants for your housing program. All right. Okay, doke. Well, if that's all, y'all have a good afternoon and a happy week to you.